So I have a harness, it clips here, and I attach here onto this thing. Just clip in like that, so you don't fall out. And I always wear gloves to protect my hand from the paint. And then this is a 3M respirator mask, which filters out the dust and the organic vapours from the paints. Yeah. It's very abstract work. It hasn't got a particular narrative or message, but it's about energy and movement and how we, I guess, move through life with our internal energy and how we react to things emotionally. And yeah, it's more about what's inside than a particular issue. There's lots of artists that have really inspired me over the years. I mean, any street artist that's painting at scale is inspiring to me, but there's an artist called Alison Watt who does very large-scale fabric paintings that I really admire. There's a lot of female street artists. A lady called Human in California. I feel like our work speaks a very similar language. Yeah. I'm actually very precise with my planning when I'm painting at scale, because there's lots you have to think about before you paint a big wall. You have to think about how it's going to work within the environment. You have to make sure you've got the right amount of paints, you know what colours you're going to have to order. So I plan it quite meticulously before I start, and I do that through a series of like photographs, drawing, some modelling on my computer. Yeah. So for each wall, before I start designing, I look at the shape of the wall and what's around it to think about what would work well with the space. So it's rare that I have a design that I can just plonk straight on a wall. I have to work with what I've got. And in some ways that's quite nice, having those restrictions, because your design is then informed by what's around, and it might be quite different to what you initially expected that you might paint on the wall. So for this one, I had to incorporate the stairwell, the windows, and equally the third wall that I'm doing has a similar stairwell, but it's long. So although I want all three walls to be similar, they have to be quite different in terms of how I approach them design-wise, and that's great. I like that challenge. There are obviously slight differences wherever you go, but for the most part, I found it being a really positive experience. Most people are really happy and pleased that you've come and spent time and put some love and energy into the area that they live. So worldwide, I find that's universal. I think here in Grenoble, it's really, really well received because you have a culture of street art here, which is so amazing. And likewise in Australia, I think they're really pushing the arts there. That's how it felt to me. So again, I think in London, our architecture is quite different. We don't have the big walls that you have here. So there's a lot more smaller pieces all around London. I think the appreciation for it is growing more and more in England and London. Yeah. I think for me, things that I was interested in when I was younger and the things I thought that were cool and fascinating are still things that I think today. And I think as I grow up, I got a bit confused about what I should be doing and what the right thing to do. But really, I've always gone back to what just clicked and felt right for me without too much effort. And I would say if you have something like that, go for it.